The most striking thing in the autopsy report is that the medical examiner found marijuana in Bruce Lee's body. Could it be that the kung fu superstar respected by thousands of people is actually a hidden gentleman? Could the corpse's brain edema be due to Bruce Lee's overdose of marijuana? In response to questions from the public, Linda said, "He didn't know until May 10th, after Bruce Lee collapsed on set and was sent to the hospital for emergency treatment. Husband occasionally takes marijuana to relieve the headaches that have long plagued him. Although the amount taken each time is very small. But the brain surgeon involved in the treatment had told Bruce Lee that taking marijuana was likely to be life-threatening. Then such a person under the whole huge work pressure. Underneath this operation of this high load of mind and body. In addition, the people around him have some more opinions about him, and the flagship has a lot of comments about him. In addition to the larger environment, Hong Kong citizens watch this Lacey news every day and talk about him. You said look at such a person under such multiple pincers. I think if he's not dying, at least he can't be a healthy person anymore, right? But the amount of marijuana found in the autopsy was not high. There is 0.5 milligram in the stomach, 0.4 milligrams in the small intestine. There is no basis for the conclusion that Bruce Lee overdosed on drugs. Bruce Lee was also involved in the filming of a large number of kung fu movies before his death. It's impossible to have the physical strength and energy required if you're addicted to drugs. His brother Lee Jung-chun, he said his brother didn't have a habit of smoking marijuana. And later, the forensic doctor also said that the content of his marijuana was extremely low. Not enough to kill. At the same time, Zhou Wenwei also proved that Bruce Lee was in normal mental condition before his death. No signs of drug use were found. So what caused Bruce Lee's brain to swell? Some people suspect that Bruce Lee has a brain lesion. Passing out on set is proof. It's just that Bruce Lee didn't find any cause in that hospitalization. Therefore, the court's ruling of death remains the only official account of Bruce Lee's death. That didn't work. In fact, this person's death has nothing to do with his own status. So, let's put it on a more optimistic note. I feel such a death, and in a way, a very good place for the whole Bruce Lee mythology movement. Borrowing the light of Bruce Lee's untimely death. It's a perfect image to keep in our minds. Bruce Lee said he had a headache. Go lie down and rest. Then go inside to rest. Zhou Wenwei went to the restaurant to meet with foreign actors first. But wait until Zhou Wenwei finishes dinner. Bruce Lee hasn't woken up yet. In Liao Jinghua's book, The Secret of Bruce Lee's Death, excerpts from Ding Pei's later testimony in court. After Ding Pei found Bruce Lee unconscious, I made 2 calls to Zhou Wenwei successively. When Zhou Wenwei returned to Ding Pei's house, it was already 9:45 p.m. The 2 then found Ding Pei's personal doctor. Bruce Lee was examined by a private doctor and found to be in critical condition. That's called an ambulance, given the fame of Bruce Lee. And there are many doubts about the cause of his death. Authorities form coroner's court. There are 10 witnesses in total except for the court tribute, including Zhou Wenwei, Ding Pei emergency doctor, forensics and detectives. According to the confessions of Zhou Wenwei and Ding Pei, around 70 on the night of the incident, Bruce Lee said he wasn't feeling well and had a headache. Ding Pei let Bruce Lee help him for a day with the painkillers he often takes, and let Bruce Lee go to his bedroom to rest. Who knew that Bruce Lee couldn't wake up? The medical examiner called this painkiller over to see what about this painkiller. He shouldn't let anyone. It just doesn't feel like it's life-threatening. However, allergies cannot be ruled out. But what is Bruce Lee allergic to? Has not been finally identified. Claims of death from drug allergies. It's just a coroner's guess based on Bruce Lee's medication before death and brain transfer after death. After more than 2 months of testing and verification, on the morning of September 24, 1973, the court's final ruling on the cause of Bruce Lee's death was only an ambiguous conclusion. Died unexpectedly. This claim is questionable. Claims of a 5th-rate drug overdose in 1967. Bruce Lee founded Jeet Kune Do in the United States. Since then, some brothers and sisters of the Wing Chun school have gradually distanced themselves from him. He is considered a traitor to the Wing Chun faction. There are even rumors that anyone who has lost to Wing Chun has to step on Bruce Lee's photo before entering. In fact, it is different from the rumored secret sect. Wing Chun school is a loose martial arts school. There is no such thing as a leader. There are no strict organizational forms and regulations. It is impossible to ask the doorman to do such a thing as color photos. But Bruce Lee and his mentor Ip Man were not entirely without differences. Due to different concepts, there has also been a little misunderstanding. After Bruce Lee returned to Hong Kong from the United States for development, I once asked my master, Yi Wen, to show him the skills of Myungjuang. And it was recorded on film. He also promised Ip Man 30,000 yuan as a reward. That was a lot of money at the time. Enough to buy an apartment. But Ip Man refused. In Ip Man's opinion, Bruce Lee's behavior is very disrespectful to himself. Although Ip Man receives supplements for a living. But after all, they are old martial arts people. And come from a wealthy family. In his eyes, the master-apprentice relationship is not a purely financial transaction like taking money for kung fu. But Bruce Lee doesn't think this is looking down on his master. He has lived in America for a long time. This approach is completely in line with the American style of doing things. Judging from Bruce Lee's consistent behavior, he is not a person who is good at reading the hearts of others. He is very egotistical and perfectionist. At the time, his offer to pay was probably an ill-considered idea. It was by no means intentional to humiliate Ip Man, although Bruce Lee may have some misunderstandings with the Wing Chun family. But the relationship between Bruce Lee and Ip Man is not out of control. Bruce Lee still had dinner with Ip Man while he was filming in Hong Kong. And Bruce Lee did play a role in the spread of Wing Chun around the world. After Bruce Lee died, Wing Chun school matchmakers also specialize in going to mourning halls. I don't want to look like I have a deep hatred. Say self or not allergic.